good to go.
You're good to go.
Okay. Well, welcome everybody to the Montana Board of Investments regular board meeting. I'll formally call the board to order. I want to thank everybody online for your attendance. And so the first thing is a notice to everyone that this is video recorded, so keep that in mind. Savannah, if you would do the honors, could you do a roll call for us?
I am happy to do that. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Jack Prothero.
Here.
Cindy Yunkin.
Here.
Porter Bennett.
Here.
Tim Kober.
Here.
Maggie Peterson.
Here.
Mark Berry.
Here.
Jeff Meredith.
Here.
Dan Trost.
Here.
Wayne Iverson. Representative Bob Keenan. And Senator Jeremy Trebus.
Okay.
All voting members are present. We have a quorum. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Just for Tim and Jeff, sometimes I don't watch the screen very well, so certainly if you have any questions or comments, don't hesitate to make yourself known. The next thing is I'll call for public comment on issues within the board's jurisdiction. So is there any public comment? Any public comment at all? I don't see any hands raised on the screen, so we can proceed. The next thing in the packet was the meeting, minutes of the meeting of August 28th. Is there a motion to approve the minutes as printed?
Move to approve, Mr. Chairman.
Moved and seconded. Porter, second. Any corrections or comments? Hearing none, we'll call for a vote. All those in favor of approving the minutes, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, the minutes are approved unanimously. The next part is, of course, our committee reports. We started off with audit. Mark, do you have a report?
I do, Mr. Chairman. The audit committee met this morning. Members Berry, Peterson, Iverson, Bennett, and Trost were all present. No one was absent. We discussed the LAD audit. They had been on site doing testing and field work in August. They intend to come back around the mid-October period to do some additional on-site work. Expect a report probably to be done in early part of December because we get early release of the report for our purposes, and it could be that there will be a special board meeting request in December to approve the audit report or the financials, I guess. Is that correct, Ann?
Correct.
Not necessarily the audit report, but the financials at least, and we'll have those set to go so that we can use them for board purposes before the end of the year, so around December timeframe. The other main, we did discuss the audit checklist, but the main part there was the SOC audit, the Systems and Organization of Controls report, Type 2 SOC report. The report was presented by Whipley, Torper White, Jackie Cooper, and Ashley Hong were online to present the report. They were very complimentary of the board's control environment and the board personnel, the attention to detail, and the professional level of the staff. There were two findings that were both related to the Teams, the Microsoft Teams system, and the lack of limitation to authorized Teams users relative to board business. They don't believe there was unauthorized access to board data. And the primary, when it was open, the primary access was to STIP client balances. That was brought to our attention back in August, actually. And the issue was fixed by Board of Investment staff at that time. So it was fixed. The report was contained in our board packet, a very extensive report of the control environment for the board. And those, whatever findings they did have already been corrected, and they did actually review to make sure that they were corrected, but they'll check them next year and make sure that it remains that way. The committee had approved the SOC Type 2 report, and so I would ask that the full board also approve that.
Okay,
I would second that.
so a motion from the committee and seconded. Any other questions for Mark or comments or concerns? So we did concur with the findings and did fix them. That's the important thing. And so I'll call for approval of the report. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Hearing none, the report is approved unanimously.
And that's all I had to report, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, thank you. So the next report is for loan committee. Jeff, do you have a report for us?
Sure. The loan committee met earlier this morning. All voting members were present. There was one in-state loan request to review under the Intermediary Lending Loan Program, a $250,000 request from the Great Falls Development Authority. That request was reviewed and approved unanimously by the committee, and that concluded the business of the loan committee.
Okay, any questions for Jeff? If not, that report or the approval does not need to go to the full board. So next committee was HR. Maggie?
Okay, the HR was the longest committee meeting, but it's probably going to be the second shortest decision-making here. So we met during closed session to discuss the staff performance reviews and had very good discussion during that period. And the executive director, this one we'll have to make a decision on, made a recommendation that Peggy McCune's position become one of the exempt staff positions, change her title, modify the salary to meet that recommendation. So the committee made the recommendation, and I would make the recommendation to this full board to accept Executive Director Villa's recommendation that Peggy McCune become an exempt staff position with her new title.
Okay,
Do you need a motion on that?
I made the motion.
that is the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Again, any comments or discussion? If not, we'll vote on that. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Same sign. Hearing none, approved unanimously. Anything else from the HR committee?
Nope, that's it.
Okay, so just so we don't have Maggie talking all the time, we'll have a report from Daniel on teachers.
Yeah, we met last Friday, and the main topic we covered was our actuarial valuation, and it was pretty good news. The unfunded liability is down, and the number of years to be fully funded went from 24 down to 21, which is pretty good. I think according to them, the golden standard is 20, so we're really close to that. And the main driver of that coming down as much as it did, in a normal world where you get everything right, you'll go down 1 year every year. And so we went down 3 years this time because our returns were better than expected. I think the hurdle is 7.3. We hit 8.9, I think, and we still have a little bit. They smooth those returns over a 4-year period, so we still have a little bit of increased return from 2023's performance. So that was great news. Everything looks good. Everybody was pretty pleased. Kavanaugh McDonald, they changed their name to CavMac, I guess to be cool. And he said everybody calls them that anyway, so they just changed their name. So they did a great job. We've been really happy with them. They came and explained everything. We had a really, really good discussion. So that was great. The only other thing of any importance that we talked about was pending legislation, and we have our sort of housekeeping bills that we do every year. I'm on that committee, so I'll be involved in that. We don't know what other bills are going to come out that are going to potentially impact the plan. So there's some offense that we do, and then maybe some defense, or maybe just being available for questions to the various committees and whatnot. So that's what's coming up. Otherwise, things look good.
Okay, any questions for Dan? Hearing none. Maggie, do you want to talk about PERS?
I want to file a complaint that he gets to go first when it's good news, okay, you guys?
Does that mean you?
So noted.
If it was bad news, yeah. But anyhow, so ours is very similar, of course. I gave you all a handout here of the amortization periods for all of our different systems. They all went down at least one, as did TRS. And it's funny, when they gave their presentation, they showed it 8.07 and 8 point something else. And I asked them what the difference was from the 9% to 9.0 something that we were presenting, and they said it's all the timing of when they get their information. So they said ours is accurate. It's the Board of Investments, the information we're giving. So, but they're basing theirs on what they had at the time. The other thing, let's see, all systems increased their funded ratios, and as a result, improved their amortization periods. They're all under the 30, so we don't have to have anything for the legislative session this coming period to deal with those issues. During that same meeting, we had a demonstration of the ERIC system. That's the employer reporting system. And it was really interesting because most of us had never seen it. And it's complex. We don't always understand why there are errors at the employer's payroll offices and stuff. But based on looking at that system, I can understand now why there are some issues. When they have turnover, people aren't necessarily trained enough. So, you know, we talk about those all the time at our PERS board meetings, and hopefully our staff is doing a good job of developing training for our payroll people. We also talked about SAVA committee bills that were going to be presented for our group. There's a proposed to have a supplemental employer contribution. That's at 0.01 that expired in 03, I think. And for the PERS, HPORS, sheriffs, and game wardens, we voted to go in as proponents on that. Our options are opposed, proponents, or informational. The next one was the repeal of the retirement criteria for HPORS and SRS. If you guys probably don't remember, but they changed it this last session to 50 and 25.
50 and
50 and 25, I think. And they want to just go back to 25, get rid of the 50. I think that's what and we decided, we voted to go in as informational only on that. The other item that came forward was the ADEC repeal. ADEC was that
actuarial determined employer contribution.
Which means you've got a rate here that's at so many years, 27 or whatever it is, and then there was a second amount that was over a 10-year period, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if we actually voted on coming in as information or whatever.
You voted to be a proponent
on
for
that
that
one?
bill.
I didn't make notes, so I must have not been on that particular one, but he definitely convinced us that it was important to go in on that, take that bill in or get that bill submitted, so.
So have these been things that have been getting addressed in interim committees?
No, through SAVA. What does SAVA stand
So
for?
the State Administration Veterans Affairs Committee has jurisdiction over the pensions.
Right.
They had a joint resolution 4 that was to study the pensions. They have a final report coming, but the SAVA committee itself voted to propose these 3 bills.
I see. Okay. Thank you.
Let's see, what else do we have coming up? I think that's pretty much it. We had quite a few in the closed meeting, disability denials and approvals, so was an interesting meeting. Short and sweet.
Okay. Any questions for Maggie at all? Hearing none, we'll move on. Don't have any comments from legislators today. So Dan, is there anything we need to do before lunch?
No, we will have a working lunch to go over some security and litigation issues. RVK will be staying on with us, and Peg McEwen will be joining us as well. So we can break now and come back. Actually, if you wanted to just get tab 2 out of the way in the 10 minutes, we probably can.
Well, let's move on.
Okay. Monthly
2.
snapshot, you have it, as well as the board meeting calendar proposed for fiscal or calendar year 25. So you can all start calendaring ahead of time. Yes.
There is a conflict here with Empera on December 11th.
Well, then they need to move their meeting because we have all their money.
No, we don't, because we've already approved ours. So, sorry. Is that really gonna be a 2-day meeting?
Likely no. We're kind of down to 1-day meetings these days. Do you want to just go the 9th?
9th and 10th for this?
Or maybe
Just the 9th.
Just the 9th.
We'll do ours on
Or
just
you
the
could do
9th.
just the 10th too.
Yeah, if we do just the 10th, that would be fine.
Because I think our meeting is December 11th.
I think for December, we can likely do a 1-dayer
Okay, just wanted-
on the 10th.
Good.
Otherwise, need a motion on that,
Well, as
please.
part of that too, we're, I think, approving sort of the work agenda. We have a set out plan, a 2-year plan.
You've already approved the work plan.
Have we?
Yep.
Okay, so that work plan would tie in to these.
Yep.
I want to make sure that the board thinks that those would work for everyone. Number one, and then number 2 is we have been trying to do the 1-day meetings and make sure that you don't feel that there's other additional things we need to cover or should look at for next year or other reports we might want from RVK or anything
I
like that.
think it would, so we'll have potentially new appointments. Some of you will have to be reappointed or new people appointed. So I think in that, late spring, early summer, or early fall timeframe, we'll want to do another offsite with RVK like we did a couple years ago when some of you got appointed that time. So
Last year, didn't we just do that?
we did that last year when some of you got on. So just think through when the right time for that would be. Because it's about an every other year when the appointments come up type thing.
Well, I thought October was good last year.
So we'll sort of
We'll
work for that.
We'll shoot for that
And then, of
October
course, with
timeframe.
if there is new ones,
You'll know by then.
we'll have some training that
Yep.
be available for the full board. So if not, we'll have a motion. Does somebody make a motion to approve of the calendar for next year?
I would move to approve the 2025 Board of Investments calendar as presented, with the exception of the December meeting would be only on the 10th, not include the 11th.
I'd second that.
Moved and seconded. Any other comments? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Same sign. Hearing none. Dan is pretty good on tab 2.
We're good.
And we're good for our working lunch.
Okay, we will, everybody, same story as before. Well, Savvy, if you would boot everybody except